Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another exciting episode of Rokk Around the Clock. Now, you may have noticed that to my left on the screen, Raf is not with us this evening. He's, believe it or not, he's actually at his youth club where he works and does amazing stuff with local kids. So that is a completely justifiable reason not to be able to join us tonight. Instead, we've got a very special guest. We've got my very good friend, Brandon, the Gamerman 353535. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good. How you doing? Thanks
Yeah,
for having me.
An absolute pleasure as always. And I know you're also coming up shortly afterwards as well, because you're going to be on with Duncan on Cloudy with a Chance of Games, looking at the pro games for coming up. But we'll talk more about that later in the game. Duncan, how are you, my very good friend?
I'm really good. Well, what about you? It's just another fun week here, isn't it? It's always a fun week in games.
It's
You
like an
can never
episode.
beat it.
It's like an episode of Dallas, mate, isn't it? I tell you, I keep thinking I'm going to wake up in a shower scene, but that dates me. Everybody else is like, what the hell is he talking about? I don't have a clue. It has been an interesting week. We'll cover off on some news in a second. As you know, with Rokk Around the Clock, the plan is we look at the news from the last 7 days, or at least since we last joined you, which of course was last Wednesday. Only I didn't join you last Wednesday. That was Raf and Duncan, who very kindly took the realms while I couldn't make it. But gents, what have you been doing this past week? What have you been playing, Duncan? Any particular games that you've been investing time into?
I have been investing a lot of time into Destiny at this moment in time. I have been stuck back into Destiny, and I'm really enjoying that. What else have I been playing about with a load of different games as well? But it's Destiny has been the biggest time sink. Obviously, we've had a bit of Grid last night. We've had some Bomberman as well. But yeah, Destiny is the game I've been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing some Destiny as well. I still just love that game. I was a little bit disappointed last night to find out that it's not coming to Game Pass PC till later next year. I was all excited thinking it was going to be over the last 24 hours. But we shall see. How about you, Brandon? What have you been playing, my friend?
With Cloudy, the Chance of Games on Tuesday, I was playing Grid, and then I played Bomberman, and then I played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, wow.
I'm playing the WWE Battlegrounds now, trying to collect them all, and that's it. I'm just having fun.
Something for everybody in there. And I've been playing loads this week. In fact, I've been playing a lot of Blair Witch. Been trying to complete that one. Did a bit more of that today. I completed Avengers. I completed Control Ultimate Edition. Been loads of Destiny, like you, Duncan. Investing time into Destiny again. So yeah, it's been a great week for gaming for me. So there's not masses of it, but shall we have a look at the news from the last 7 days? Let's flick over to here. There we go. Look at that. So the first thing that, let me see, Thursday we had not a lot. Friday last week, Friday the 18th, we had WWE 2K Battlegrounds available on Stadia. Brandon, you were just saying that you've been playing some of that, so presumably you picked it up.
Yeah, it's $39 for the regular one and $49 for the deluxe, and you get almost all the wrestlers, and and you get coins and stuff like that. It's really good. It's really fun. It's like the WWE All Stars, and it's really great pack.
The graphics look really good as well. It looks some good modelling on there. Duncan, is this the kind of, are you into wrestling? Are you a wrestling fan?
Yes, I'm looking to actually get that at some stage when the price is right. I'm just waiting for it to just drop down in price. So I've been keeping my eye on it, and just the graphical, or just the way it's actually structured is extremely appealing to me. It's just like a good old arcadey sort of game, and I do want to get it. It's just when I want to get it.
Yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat without the guts and the blood, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks just a bit of fun.
Yeah, no, it looks great. So, is it like a campaign, or are you just bashing the heck out of characters? Do you sort of go through progression as you go, or is it got multiplayer? I don't know anything about the game.
Yes, it is multiplayer, and guess what it's got? It's got cross-platform multiplayer as well. So you can, so that's a definite good one there for if you want to play some multiplayer. So that's good. Just looking here, we've actually got a couple of things interesting to pop up in our breaking news section.
Have we? Yeah, folks, we got some big breaking news to come. Duncan got very excited before we went live. It was so breaking and so exciting that I didn't even get to tweet the show was going to be on. So apologies if you just joined thinking, well, why the hell didn't he say you were coming up? Beg your pudding. Right. So then let's go back. On Saturday, we had, it was a huge Avengers patch. I say it was huge. I mean, it was 1,000 fixes, but Duncan, you were saying the other day, it's not unheard of for that kind of scale of patch from a new game.
No, it's when Serious Sam launches tomorrow on Stadia. Expecting the week after there's going to be a big massive patch thing, and they're going to fix a lot of things. But bug fixes are a normal occurrence, and the bigger the game, the more the bug fixes, and the more complex the game, the more bug fixes. So yeah, it's they are doing it. The perfect example is the game we play religiously nearly on a Friday night in PUBG. Have you seen what their patch notes are like? Every single update, absolutely massive. They always show. Yeah, so I think a lot of 1,000 things. Yes, it does look a lot of things getting fixed. Again, it's just the amount of people playing the game. They find lots of issues. It's just scale and numbers.
No, so fair enough. But there were some dedicated Stadia fixes as well, weren't there?
Yep, there were indeed, which is always good to see in the fine print that they're actually fixing Stadia, especially in this cross-platform releases. I can't remember what they are at the top of my head. I've actually lost my tab page, but there is. I can
tell you. I appreciate, guys. Just to let you know, watching this, Brandon and Duncan can't actually see the screen this evening, so I will be playing the part of the interpreter. So we had some additional fixes. We've had added backup save menu in the settings, added ability to erase all save data in settings, improved performance, this was the big one, improved performance for 30 frames per second high-res display mode, fixed Kamala and Thor harm tutorials when defense mode was set to toggle, a number of mouse and keyboard UI improvements.
Yep, that's pretty good going there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fairly concise, isn't it? Brandon, you a big Avengers fan? Have you been playing a lot of Marvel Avengers?
Yeah, I've been waiting till they fix the patches and stuff, and then I can complete it.
Okay.
I like it a lot, but I want to buy all those transactions. You guys know what that means?
Oh, yeah, you because there's armor and animations and stuff, aren't there, that you can get different animations for when you slap down your foes and that kind of thing. Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah, and the skins and the costumes and stuff like that. I want them all.
I completed it. I've completed the campaign, but I've been waylaid off on other games. I've kind of got so many games piling up that I've kind of thought, you know what, I'm just going to do each campaign for now and get them done and then move along. But it's, I'd forgotten actually the other game I've played a lot in the last couple of days in prep for tomorrow is Serious Sam. Getting back into that, actually, that's been pretty good fun. I know you did a load of Serious Sam when it first came out, Duncan, didn't you?
Yep, me and Kelly played that a lot. Kelly's loved that game. I enjoyed it too. Just straight up, don't have to think. Just go around shooting things. Can't beat that. Just mind this fun. You always need that as well. So, and that's coming out tomorrow. And I think there's a good portion of the community are really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And I'm really, really hoping that we'll maybe play a little bit of that on Friday as well with the multiplayer of Serious Sam, because we're going to mix it up on Rockstars at Night. So looking forward to that. Then on the 20th, which was a Sunday, there were strong rumours on the potential for Rogue Company to come to Stadia. Now this started, the first time that I became aware of this was from an impromptu that Chase did at Stadia Talk, which pricked my ears up. Chase, a massive advocate of Rogue Company. And then, Duncan, you followed this up with an article and republished a piece of an interview from their chief exec.
Yeah, basically, the chief executive was talking about where all Rogue Company is, and he name-checked Stadia in the middle of this. So it looks like the cat's out in the bag. So Rogue Company looks like it's coming to Stadia. This was in relation to, he was asked the question, what's going to happen, Rogue Company, when it goes to next-generation systems. I'm just putting clarity into this here. When he name-checked Stadia, this wasn't name-checking Stadia as a next-generation console or next-generation. He was just talking in a broader sense, saying he doesn't care where Rogue Company's played. They're trying to get it everywhere. And he said you can even play Rogue Company. He's actually started off, you can play Rogue Company on Stadia on a Chromebook or GeForce Now on a Chromebook. And he actually mentioned Switch as well. So there was two parts of this story. I'm just trying to clarify the next-gen version, because that's where I think the water slightly clouded, but it does look like Rogue Company is coming to Stadia, and I would say the tone and the way he was talking, I think it's going to be relatively soon.
More than that, you even think it might become a free pro game.
That was one of our predictions on Sunday.
Was.
So yeah, so I'm still sticking with that. I think it's going to be a pro game.
Brandon, have you had a chance to have a look at Rogue Company?
On my PlayStation, I tried it. It's fun. I recommend it on Stadia. We all can play it, and it'll be great on Friday nights.
Oh, it'll be superb. Really, hopefully it does come, because it'd be another one to throw into the mix. What would you say, if you had to compare it to another game, what would you say that it reminded you of?
Think PUBG a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a multiplayer. It's a PvP. It's not a battle royale per se, is it? Duncan, is it? I mean, taking for example the only PvP that I really know, Crucible on Destiny. Is it closer to sort of a capture the flag type? Is there a multitude of different types of game?
There's a multitude of different ways you can play the game. The best, probably maybe an easier sort of comparison is maybe like Counter-Strike and that sort of one, or Rainbow Six Siege. It's not frenetic. It's not a battle royale. It's slightly more strategic, and you're a bit slower, but you're not PUBG slow. Yes. If you know what I mean. Yes. It's in the mix sort of there. But I think the closest one would be Counter-Strike.
Oh yeah.
Well, it'll be a fantastic addition to Stadia, that's for sure. And as you say, the key thing the point that he was making was that they're keen to have it across all platforms, whether that's console, or whether it's cloud, whether it's handheld, or whether it's fixed. But the point that he deliberately stated Stadia, I think, as you rightly said, is it just kind of feels like it's a very likely thing. So that's good. Looking forward to that one. Then so that was Sunday. On Monday, September the 20th, 21st, I beg your pardon, we had actually, it was fairly impromptu, because we don't typically get Google blogs on Mondays, do we? They tend to be, am I right in saying tend to be Tuesday and Wednesday, or? It's
Tuesday and Thursday is the normal days for it, rather than Mondays, and we actually got something yesterday.
We did, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So what they were basically doing was highlighting back in 6 months ago, as it says here, 6 months ago, they announced the Stadia Makers program, which was essentially support for any independent studios that were keen to bring games in development, or games that they plan to develop, on board with Stadia. So all sorts of support, largely technical, access to their engineers, to access to their cloud-based systems, their APIs, and so on. And this obviously has borne fruit, because 6 months later they've announced 8 games, and I believe that's just the ones that they obviously currently feel that they're at a point they can show off. 8 independent titles, some of them looking actually really good. A lot of them, am I right in saying, Duncan, implementing some of the YouTube features, your crowd choice and your Stadia thingy?
No, the games that seem to have announced are, I would doubt it. There's only one which may be a possibility. I think that might be, as Cloud Gamer says, maybe Death Carnival, maybe, but no,
Right.
there's no games there which I would say really stick out for that sort of thing, unless we're talking in the States, sure, because they're a bit more like that. Some things to note: these are not exclusive games. These are not first and Stadia games. If you look in the logo, or not the logos, we're not talking logos. We're talking about the YouTube videos. Yeah. Nothing flashed up on top. So these games are not exclusive. It's just these games are just getting brought onto the platform, which is always welcome.
Gotcha. So essentially, they were probably already in development, were possibly quite close to completion. They're quite keen. They were quite happy to bring them to Stadia. And the Stadia Makers program just gave them the support to help pull them across to Stadia. Okay, that's understood.
Exactly.
So, this one looks really cool. And right at the end of it, it's actually a top-down, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it just goes to show how a trailer can skew your opinion. So either way, as you've rightly said, the key thing is 8 more games minimum. Did they give any release dates on these, Dunk, or were they? I mean, that one says early 21, so that's this winter.
Yep. Most of them seem to be relatively soon. There's some actually going into next year as well, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on going forward here.
Yeah, it looks about half and half, doesn't it? There's half of these are Q1 or early 21. And then these others are. Sorry, Brandon, you were going to say.
That detective game looks good.
Which one was that one?
The one.
That one? Dark Side Detective? So that looks like a sort of an 8-bit throwback game. Yeah. There we go. It's a comedic point-and-click adventure. So a bit like... what's the one... the little stick man one in the West? That's kind of point-and-click adventure, isn't it?
Yeah, this looks good.
Loathing in the Wild and West, Loathing or something. But yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah, these games can be great fun, particularly again excellent on mobile, which as we've said in the past, Dunk, there's that kind of sweet spot for Stadia games. It's if they're not going to be AAAs, they'll probably end up looking very close to a mobile title. For reasons that we've said in the West of Loathing. Thank you, Cloud Gamer. That is exactly the game I was thinking of. Right, so that was them, and that was cool. And then on the same day, Hotline, talking of 8-bit throwback games, Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number became available on Monday. So have either of you guys picked these up at all?
I have not as yet. I have got them on other platforms, so I will pick them up eventually if they don't go as a pro game. I'm just waiting on a sale for them. But they're fun, and the soundtrack is amazing on them. So you can, it's like an old school Grand Theft Auto. When we're talking Grand Theft Auto, we're talking the original Grand Theft Auto. So we're talking many years ago, but absolutely fun games. And if you're thinking about that, and that's like what you say, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Now, Devolver, the developer for this, I think they're also the guys behind Observation, which is a game that I've been playing, an independent game that I've been playing on PS Now for the last couple of days, which is starkingly different. It's high photorealistic graphics, so it's cool actually to see a studio able to turn its hand to different art styles and game genres. But that's really good. Brandon, your kind of game?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick them up like what Duncan said. When they goes on sale, I'm gonna grab them.
So they're $15 now, £13. Duncan, do you think it's fair to suggest that these will possibly become pro games in the not too distant future?
I think it's any game which comes to Stadia at this sort of price point, the age of the game, and things like that. I think that these two games both have the hallmarks of a pro game eventually.
Yeah.
And I don't like saying that, and I think everybody in the panel knows I don't like saying this is going to be a pro game eventually, but these do have the hallmarks of it. So if they're just on your, I want them at a reasonable price, I would maybe hold off for a couple of months just to see. But they are definitely worth picking up at that price because they've been priced accordingly, because they're both, was it $10, £8 sort of?
Yeah, £13.
Yeah, and the second one's slightly dearer. So if it's on your watch list, I would wait. But if you want to pick them up now, they've priced them well. So if they do become a pro game, you're not going to be out from pocket a lot there.
No, and of course, if you don't have a pro subscription, then go ahead and grab them, because they do look excellent games. Yeah, Zero just mentioned that that he's played Observation on PC and Xbox One. It's a great game, isn't it? Just really good fun, very simple but very atmospheric. Excellent title, highly recommend it. One that I wouldn't mind, interestingly enough, Zero, as I saw these coming to Stadia the other day, I thought to myself, I wouldn't mind betting that Observation is going to be a future title on Stadia as well, because I think it would work really well on the platform. But we shall see. Now, also, on the same day, but I'm not sure that we've got a cloudy article for it, we had keyboards and mouse, essentially, or about to be removed from PUBG, Duncan.
Yes, I know we're being positive in this show, but the reason why it is being removed is because of lack of demand, basically, and it's just. I don't like saying that. That's just leading into other things, but that is the reason why it has been pulled. Basically, it's to save money. If there's not enough people playing,
ongoing development and fixes and stuff. Yeah. And
Yeah.
am I right in saying if you had bought the game and felt suitably aggrieved that you could no longer play it with keyboard and mouse, that Stadia will actually give you a refund?
Yep, that is correct. It's in the printer. Everybody knows I try and be even-handed with things, but sometimes people think I'm overly critical. But with Stadia's refund policy, they are extremely generous with it. They are probably one of the best, if not the best, in the games industry with getting refunds. It's most of the time it's no quibble. You can just go there, get refunded, and we can even go back to when Stadia first launched with the Tomb Raider situation, where they put it on sale, people picked it up, then 2 or 3 days later it was a pro game and they refunded the money for people as well. Stadia is absolutely amazing with their customer service that way, and this is another way they're doing it as well.
Yeah, and fair enough, and you're right. Ultimately, we know that the keyboard aspect of Stadia is bound to take second win to the controller. I mean, I would be interested to see the stats. I actually quite like using keyboard and mouse on my PC when I'm playing Stadia, but a lot of people are playing on their phones, or they're playing on their CCUs, soon to be Sabrina, where it's predominantly console based. So I can understand that. You're right. If you're a developer and you can dispense of the expense of supporting the hosting, if nothing else, because they obviously have server costs, then why not take that high road? So fair point to them. On the 22nd, which the 23rd on your article, but I think it was the 22nd, it was yesterday that we were told about this. Division 2 is going to have a free play weekend starting this Thursday.
Yep, it's the perfect game to get people onto Stadia. I'm actually going to be putting something out about free-to-play weekends. And there we go, I've got it on record now. I need that sort of thing to make sure I do things. Free-to-play weekends on Stadia are a real big differentiator. I can't say it. A difference maker.
Differentiator. I'll say it.
There you go. I really struggle with words at times between Stadia and the next generation of consoles, because you don't have to worry. You can just jump in, and that is a real big, easy selling point. And the Division 2 is the perfect game because that is people don't have to worry about multiplayer because it's cross-platform multiplayer for the PC.
Yeah.
It's the Stadia-only features with the Stream Connect, and it runs amazing on Stadia. It's arguably the best looking and playing game on Stadia compared to the consoles out there. So this is a real brilliant game for Stadia to do it. Brandon, what have you played much of the Division 2?
I'm almost done with the DC almost. I just need a couple of you guys to help me with it, and then I can complete it. But I have another character that I'm pushed myself into the New York, and I'm almost done with that, and it's really fun. It's a really great game. Then the first one, it's just well done on Stadia. Yeah.
Smooth as butter on Stadia, really is it? It's we've said it before, haven't we, Duncan? It's a showpiece as far as Stadia is concerned. It just ticks all the boxes and works really well. And if you haven't picked up Division 2, then this is the perfect opportunity to give it a go because it is just a great game. And we've reviewed it on Rokk Review, haven't we? I can't remember. I probably didn't give it a hugely high score.
No, we didn't give it a high score because of it's the learning curve. It wasn't a low score. It wasn't a high score. No. It was a mediocre score. And to answer Gandra, I guess that like comment, yes, you need the Warlords DLC to play the Summit mode. So yeah, you do need that, unfortunately. And prediction time, the Division 2 will probably be going on sale tomorrow because it's a free play weekend. That's what normally what happens. If it's a free play weekend, the game which is on for free usually gets a discount. So check that out. There's your bold prediction for tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll usually bang on. And it's not a huge price anyway, is it, Duncan, on the store at the moment?
The Warlord says it's about £50. So it's the reason. One of the reasons why this is going to be on a free-to-play weekend is because the new season has just launched today. As we see in the trailer there. So this is why it's probably there to try and get people in playing, so they get hooked into it and they'll probably want to buy it and do that. It's just a bit of marketing there.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. I interestingly enough, I thought at some point back in the past it may even have been a pro game, but of course there is that golden rule in Stadia. If it's made by Ubisoft, it ain't going to be a pro game.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, we all know why. Right, well, we're looking forward to that. So get out there and play that, guys. And don't forget as well, if you don't have a pro account, you can still grab yourself a month's free worth of pro, get in and play some of this and claim and play all of the games that have been out there for pro subscribers now for some time. So fill your boots for 30 days, why don't you? Particularly as the autumn or fall, as our friends in the States say, is about to get its chilly fingers into us all. So there'll be something for you to have fun with leading up to the holidays. Go, Brandon.
The Warlord of the New York expanding, is that the one too? Can that work with it, Duncan?
No, you have to buy that. It's only going to be the base game. So the bog standard is going to be available on the free-to-play weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, rats, eh? It looks really good as well. There's just to cover that off. If you do own the Warlords of New York DLC, which came out almost a year ago, I think, you will get Summit as part of that. So you won't have to pay again for that. And that the highlight of that, of course, is that 100-story building, which is essentially a huge raid where you go from level to level to level to level. And I think every 10th level there's a boss. And then right at the very end there's a super boss. So that's an amazing concept, and looking forward to. I've only just started Warlords of New York, and I've had it since it launched. So I've got to get my skates on. Get in there and enjoy the darn thing. Righty. So, also, big news coming for Thursday, tomorrow. We don't have it on here. Is Serious Sam 4 is coming to Stadia, and that we've already got 1, 2, and 3 as a pack, haven't we, on Stadia? So the fourth one's launching tomorrow, and that, am I right in saying, Duncan, that comes with some YouTube features? No, but I am right in saying that it probably involves lots of creatures, and you shoot them. Yes, I knew I'd be on safe territory with that one.
Yeah, Serious Sam is out tomorrow. No, it was not out yesterday. That was a whoopsie yesterday. Yes. It's nothing has been mentioned about Stadia only features as yet, but I would not be surprised if something happens along them lines. I think every game going forward, as soon as crowd play and crowd choice gets implemented, I think most multiplayer games are going to implement crowd play on it.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be pretty safe that. So I'm not going to say it's not coming never, but I at this moment in time, it has not been confirmed. So yeah, it's going to be a big game. Remember, this isn't a big AAA. This is like more a AA, and it's being priced that way as well. So it is going to be a brilliant game, and I'm looking forward to picking it up.
Do you have the other Serious Sams, Brandon?
Yeah, I had that collection one we got for free.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I die a lot.
Yeah. I learned today that what you have to, well, firstly, you must never stand still. Secondly, if somebody's throwing something, just find a bit of building to hide behind. Because certainly in the first one, the artificial intelligence isn't amazing.
Yes.
But it's so that's definitely one to look out for. Do we have a price on it? We do, don't we?
I think it was $40 in the top of my head, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull that across here. Let's have a look. So, yeah, Serious. You cannot be serious. Let me just pull that across. Here we go. Increase the size so everybody at home can. Wrong keyboard. Oh, that could have been disastrous. Right, so yes, we have Serious Sam, and it's going to be $39.99. There you go. Actually, that's not a bad price for a brand new title, is it?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying people just to keep their expectations and check with that. This is not a AAA, all guns blazing sort of game. This is a mid-tier game. It's still going to be a brilliant game. You know what you're going to get with Serious Sam.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on that.
Indeed.
And I think the first reviews are starting to pop up as well. But these reviews are going to be on PC, so bear that in mind.
So Metacritic reviews, are they?
Yeah, there's a couple of reviews out there at the moment, yeah. I think PC Gamer's got one. So again, I can't remember, haven't had actually a chance to read it. I think I just seen it on my Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't actually get to see it. I didn't get the chance to read it as yet. But I believe that is where I seen the first review of that. Gotcha, so just
no worries.
Just be warned.
No problem. We also found out yesterday that Stadia Premier Edition is available to buy from Bestbuy.com. Is that just their website, Duncan, or is it available from the stores as well?
I think it's just their websites at the moment.
Okay. Because I was wondering how they do the whole point of sale thing. You know, you'd sort of need a try me out screen, wouldn't you?
You would do. So yeah, it's good that this Stadia is starting to get out into the stores now. We just need the controllers out there now, so people can just buy the controllers and start just building it up. Imagine that was in Game or GameStop in the US, where you can just pick up the controller to jump in.
Oh, it'll be amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. No, I'm in two minds. My game funds are diminished somewhat at the moment, so I may have to just hold back for a bit. But you know, looking forward to that one. Something else that broke yesterday and caused a little bit of debate, shall we say, in the community, was a founders hub on the Stadia community forum. Duncan's rubbing his head. You don't need to waylay your opinion. I'm purely looking for facts, my friend.
Oh, I'm going to put this out here. As we've alluded to before on this show and other shows, we've got a team chat place, and we actually had a big discussion, and this was actually brought up during it as well. I think we'll talk what this is first, and then we'll get into the Stadia's founders. That is people who are Stadia founders. That's the ones with the wee funny symbols at the end of the name, and they don't have, like, if I wasn't a Stadia founder, it would be like one to escape them, like random
6896 or whatever.
Yeah. Stadia founders who got Stadia day one, or maybe day one, and they are going to get access to a special forum where they can interact with some of the Stadia team, so we can give people feedback. That launches on Friday. This is only going to be for Stadia founders, and this has rubbed up people the wrong way. It's actually excluding people from it. So I think it's a good thing that they're actually starting to do this. I'm putting this out here first. However, I think this should have been, if they were going to implement this, should have been about 8 months ago, even 10 months ago. Coming in now, I think it's coming out at a really bad time.
It's a sensitive time, and obviously there's lots going on in terms of the consoles. People, they're feeling a level of division, I'd say, wouldn't you? Putting it nicely. So yeah, I think, as we know, these things don't tend to get planned and implemented overnight, and I'm sure that it's been in the works for a little while. They talk about some fundamental changes behind the scenes, future additions to the hub that will include gamification and so on. So I can see the intent. But equally, I can also see look, I'm a founder, as we all are in our little trio here. So we're obviously in the gang, and I think it's purely taking it on its merits. I think it's amazing to see them starting to give back to the community and acknowledge the community. And little comments like, as a final note, we'd like to thank our founders for believing in Stadia. Early adopters paved the way for those to come, and you deserve recognition. This is just the beginning of our journey together, and we're tremendously excited to have you all along. Now, I know some people have complained about, what are you saying? Just the beginning of our journey. We've been here for a year. But of course, they mean in terms of this hub. Let's try and be a bit more literal about that. But the key thing here is that it is a step in the right direction. We don't know yet what else they've got planned for other Stadia members, pro or free, and there may well be a whole other bunch of stuff, but it is a step in the right direction. I kind of want to applaud that and encourage it. I feel it's not great to jump all over that at this point in time, and I'm hopeful that we'll see other initiatives moving forward that will benefit more people and be more inclusive. But I do feel for those that feel, well, you know what, I was late to the party. I would have been a founder. I didn't realise until a month in that it even existed. I'm just not that switched on to stuff. And of course, Duncan, you and I do a show on Sunday mornings aimed at people that are even relatively new to Stadia. So, for those guys, they're just getting switched on to the whole cloud gaming thing now. But it is nice to give back, and we can harp on about that all night long. Brandon, what were your thoughts on this?
I know we get, as founders, we get recognitions, and that's great. And the people who don't, they should give them something like talk to and see how they are doing and how their feedbacks are, and work together as one and not as a founders. It's just put them all together as one, and that will be like a good thing. But I like this too because we got it first, and we test this out, and we're gonna they're gonna listen to us, and then see how they react to that, and then they look into the community and talk to them, and that'll be better too. That's right.
No, I think it's a good. I think there's some very valid points there, and of course, you could argue. Sorry, Duncan.
What I was going to say is,
Hmm.
I think this issue just showcases what is happening in the Stadia community at the moment. We were talking about this privately in our where we discuss things with Cloudy, sort of. I think it's just a microcosm of what is actually going on in the Stadia community at the moment. Every issue is a crisis, any sort of thing, and it's getting completely blown out from proportion because everybody in the Stadia community on Twitter all knows each other and they're all interacting. It's a very close-knit community, and sometimes issues are completely blown out because everybody feels like they have to have a comment on it. And for me, I'm a bit. I think I'm not completely on board what they're doing, but I'm not completely think it's a horrible idea. And my concern is just the timing of it, and sometimes even slightly negative comments feels like you're actually adding on to all the negativity which is going on here at this moment in time. So I think we all need to sort of chill out, myself included, and I think most people in the Stadia community, we all just need to take a deep breath and just every negative thing isn't a crisis and every good thing isn't an absolutely amazing thing. It's usually somewhere in between.
In between. No, it's very wise words. Thank you for that. I think I'd finally just cover off on this and say that we got our rewards as founders. We got a blue controller. We got little stars against our name, and we didn't get any numbers. Yeah, there she blows. And I would actually prefer to have seen this as a pro subscribers forum rather than as a founders forum. And a bit more inclusive of those that are actually paying their money per month. And maybe they will think again. But I think it's, as we say, the important thing is that, as Wolock says here, chill out. Only in a Wolock voice, it's more like chill out, will you? Brilliant stuff. Thank you for that. It was a very insightful and in-depth little coverage. Dead by Daylight coming very, very soon by the look of things now. It's suddenly popped up on Peggy this morning. That's been historically an indicator that we're within almost hours of seeing it, aren't we?
It's either going to be tomorrow or it's going to be Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's the last 2 days because it's coming September. I don't think it's going to be a Friday or a Monday. It's either going to be tomorrow or it's going to be Tuesday. I think that's all we really need to say about that one.
Yeah, I really hope it's tomorrow because Friday's looming. As you know, I want to try and get as many games into Rockstars at Night on Friday as we possibly can. But looking forward to that one. We've folks, go and watch Duncan's video. He did a video this morning announcing this as a little news item. Just get your bingo cards out and see how many times he says death by chocolate accidentally when he should have said dead by daylight.
Some of them were actually on purpose to be.
They were, some were on purpose. There was the odd one that slipped in, which I thought were very funny. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. And what else did we... Sorry, Brendan.
No, Dead by Daylight is a great game. It's just, I know Rock's just going to go and kill us all.
Yeah, I'll be the baddie. Because they're kind of they're baddies from other games, aren't they? They're sort of well-known nasties.
Yeah,
like Mario and Pac-Man and all that kind of stuff.
See Muck Myers.
Exactly. Another thing that happened today, being the final day of the week, which I think we've got over here on... Yeah, here we go. So Crater launched sci-fi content. It was a drop. I think that's a DLC or a seasonal drop. So it's a whole bunch of new content, including intergalactic cosmetics, weekly login rewards, a themed hub game to unlock exclusive outfits, and a host of amazing new sci-fi themed games to explore. Brandon, have you ever got into Crater, or has it kind of slipped past you?
I got it on the day one, for it, and I tried it. Yeah, you hide like your radio and create your own thing. I'm trying to do that now. I want to do that.
It's it is one of those games that, or I don't even like calling it a game. They do. I see it more as a an application, but it's one of those games where you can scratch the surface, and it's quite fun. You can obviously play other people's games, but you can dig and dig and dig, and you could almost become a professional creator game developer. I know people like Bryant over the Nerf Report, award-winning Bryant at the Nerf Report, because his was one of the first winners of the Creator Awards. He's been working hard on more amazing games. So there's some absolute talent out there. But these actually look really cool. It looks like they're taking almost like a drawn art style approach as well in some of these. Duncan, you've not had as much time in Creator as you'd like, I guess.
Okay, here comes one of my amazing statements I come off with. Here, are you ready? I'm building this up here. Creator is like Stadia. There's just so much potential there, but it just hasn't been completely fulfilled as yet.
Wow.
So there we go.
Wow.
But,
hang on a second. I think this is going to need this. You didn't hear that, Duncan? But that was but that was a glockenspiel.
Yeah, it's people are absolutely enjoying it, and it is. If you like the games, it's there. Yeah. But I think it's at this moment in time. I think it still needs a bit more work, and it's waiting for people to actually come and actually make the games. So it is a bit like Stadia in that way.
No, I think it's a great analogy. I mean, all the potential's there, and you can see it, and it's just kind of doing its thing, gradually getting there. Ultimately, something very, very special. And Lee, thank you very much indeed, my friend, for asking people to smash the like button. Just if you do, don't break your keyboards. Don't do things like that. This would normally be your job, Brandon, wouldn't it? You're feeling left out.
Yeah, this is new to me. I like this too. And this is like Minecraft, but 10 times better to me.
It certainly would love to have the Minecraft audience, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. Right, now then. Duncan, we've run out of weekly news. Would you like to take us into 3, gentle people, 3 pieces of breaking news?
Okay. 2 of these are... Sorry, 1 is not related to Stadia at all. 2 are related to somewhat to Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go with the 1 completely not related to Stadia, and it's something you can't really actually ignore. Earlier in the week, as we know, and again, this got a lot of people upset and panicky. Microsoft announced they bought Bethesda. For people who don't know, they're actually having a conference tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And they have confirmed that they're not making any more acquisitions. For people not in the know, there was a big, massive rumor that they were going to buy Sega. So this is basically saying no, there is
Bungie.
And Bungie. There is no acquisition talk tomorrow. The reason why Sega is actually mentioned because it's at the Tokyo Game Show, and as we know, Sega is a big Japanese company. Mm-hmm. This doesn't realize there's going to be partnerships or anything, but it's just real nice. There's not going to be a big, massive acquisition there, and they've came out and said it. And that is tomorrow. They're actually live streaming that, and it's at 1 o'clock UK time. Mm-hmm. So that's 8 o'clock Eastern time. So you can actually watch that on YouTube, and they're actually going to make some announcements there, but no next generation talk. So just to get the expectations. So that's your first piece of breaking news, is Microsoft aren't actually buying someone despite the rumors. The second piece of news, unless you want to comment on that, Rokk?
No, get them out there, mate.
Just get everything out.
Get your news out, boy.
The second piece of news is about Orion, that a game related to Microsoft. Orion, it's another Orion. Please be right. It is Orion, isn't it?
Orion, Orion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Orion was one of the reasons that Microsoft did buy Bethesda. In the last hour or so, there has been a podcast being put out by Xbox, and they have actually name dropped Stadia in the middle of this. One of the reasons for getting Bethesda was to get into the Orion tech. So yeah, that is one of the reasons why Bethesda was bought. So interestingly, for the Stadia. I'm just laughing at Roger's comment there. Really, really positive news for Stadia in this regard is that is one of the reasons why they've actually acquired them. So they are worried about Google and Stadia. So they must think that Stadia is going to be around for the long haul, and they're actually making moves against them. So hopefully that indicates for us in the Stadia community that Stadia is actually going to be out there trying to make deals for themselves and make some major sort of acquisitions along that way. So yeah, so this is big news for Xbox why they bought it, but it's actually good news for the Stadia perspective, because they're actually out there trying to compete against Stadia, even though Stadia is in the nursery at the moment still.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, and I think you're right that the key thing, and this is my takeaway on all of this, is that the bigger the competition, the better it is for all concerned, including most importantly us as consumers. So for me, the more of this kind of news, the better, because Google are in there for the long haul. They absolutely are. They have a plan, even if it's not always obvious to the rest of us. And the fact that you've got people like Phil Spencer, putting cloud gaming right there at the front, his top 5 list of things that he wants to. This is why one of the major reasons we're buying Bethesda is because they have this cloud streaming technology that we can use in our titles, that we can even license it out to other people as well. That shows their commitment to cloud, and it's something we've said consistently and incessantly on all the shows that we do, Duncan, that this will almost certainly be the last generation of major console, and that the important thing for both Sony and Microsoft is that they get people on to subscription packages as soon as possible. You look like you were about to laugh at me, but I'm sure it wasn't me you were laughing about.
No, I'll tease something. I'll tease something at the end of this here after, because the third piece of news was Baldur's Gate, as Cloudy has had on for a number of months, has been 100% confirmed as having crossplay.
Brilliant.
It's going to be a bit ropey, they're saying, in the first couple of weeks. As we know, this is an early access, so they are going to do that. But it is going to have crossplay on it.
Oh, that's good news. That's excellent news. And of course, it's been delayed as well until the 6th of October, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, but I don't want to go down speculation road with that.
No, that's cool. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that you just said that the crossplay is going to be a bit ropey?
No, I think it's a different reason.
Right. Okay. We won't go down.
We won't go down speculation road, but
Okay.
I do think it's because of Stadia.
Right. Can I speculate on that basis then? Would your speculation have anything at all to do with a potential Connect?
Nope. It would be in relation to potential features dropping next week or this week. Actually, right. Or maybe dropping tomorrow. Because this is what I'm just saying. I think it's interesting. Death by Chocolate is doing a live stream tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern time.
Okay.
It's called Around the Campfire, and they've given away a few prizes to lucky viewers.
That's interesting. What time and where did you say?
It's on Twitch, which
ironic,
yes. But it's 2:00 Eastern time, so that would be 7:00 our time.
That would be 12 o'clock.
What do I get? I get Death by Chocolate come up. Wouldn't you just expect it? Well, there's a lot of stuff. There's just so much happening in around the whole cloud stroke gaming ecosphere right now, isn't there? I mean, it is a massive time to be a gamer, just as we're going into another lockdown as well. Oh, fun. Yep. Oh, joy.
Yep, exactly.
Us too.
Brandon, you got any thoughts? Is that your news? Have we
Yes, that is our news.
have we consumed your news? Brilliant
You
news.
you have consumed my news.
Brilliant.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to go after the comment about from Uncanny. I completely disagree. I 100% disagree on that.
We won't go on your comment that would you completely disagree with. Can we just recap? So we've got recap in one sentence for each of those bits of news.
Okay, the first piece of news: Microsoft aren't banning anybody tomorrow.
Okay.
Microsoft are one of the reasons they bought Bethesda was to get around to compete with Stadia, and Stadia was name dropped. And the third piece of it was big, and that was on an official Microsoft podcast. So this was on Major Nelson's podcast.
Wow!
So that's pretty big. And the last piece of news was Baldur's Gate 3 is got cross-platform play.
Cross-play. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Really good stuff. We are approaching the top of the hour. I think we're probably going to pull it at this point simply because both Duncan and Brandon are about to go and have another show under the Cloudy with a Chance of Games on YouTube, and they will be doing pro predictions for Stadia pro games, and I'm intrigued because I think with everything that's going on over the last couple of days, it may differ from when Duncan made his predictions at the weekend. So I'm going to let these guys toddle off, put on their special sharp suits for that show, get themselves off into not just yet, come back, Mr. Invisible Man. And folks, do get yourselves over onto YouTube and watch that one. Finally, thank you all very, very, very much for joining us this evening. It's always heartwarming to see you. We tend to have our shows early and weekends and things. So when we get so many people turn up, it's amazing to see. So thank you so much for that. We will be back on Friday evening. That's to say Duncan and I, as part of Rockstars at Night. As I've alluded to several times, the intent this week is to play a ton of games that you can all join in with, not just PUBG. But we will still be doing PUBG. So don't worry if you're massively into PUBG. We will be playing that towards the end of the show so that our American friends can join in, which is really cool. And if the predictions are correct, we may be doing some Dead by Daylight. So watch this space. That would be absolutely amazing. Duncan, where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me at Cloudy with Games on Twitter and also One Day Escape on Twitter.
And Brandon, where can people find you?
Twitter on Gamerman 35353535, and YouTube is Gamerman 3535, and you can find me on Stadia, the Gamerman.
Absolutely. And of course, Sunday afternoon, one of the, genuinely, I'm not just saying this, people, one of the best shows on YouTube, if you're interested in gaming and Stadia, is Games and Stuff, Brandon's show, where he has been getting the most amazing guests, excluding me and Duncan. But we've had everyone on there, haven't we, recently, Brandon? It's been an absolute amazing conversation. Great fun, slightly adult, which is a bit odd of a Sunday afternoon or morning if you're in the States.
Very adult, I would say.
Occasionally goes that way, but it's huge fun. So please do check out Brandon's channel, particularly on Saturdays and Sundays when he does a show with Ray, and he does a show with us as well. He's a great guy, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh yeah, Pow Hour too. Sorry.
Yes, no, mustn't forget that one. That's an absolute. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Chat, thank you so much for joining. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy your games. Get yourselves over now to Cloudy with a Chance of Games on YouTube. And there may even be some interesting stuff to come out there, I think. So I'm going to go over there as well. Good night, gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed.
Goodbye, Rokk. And have a good show, everybody. Have a good time, everybody. Play lots of games.
Indeed. Rock out. Oh, hang on. QVT.